Thank you to all of you. Wow, this has been 5 long days. I'd like to thank you for the great work that we've done. We have now the Porto Declaration. This is the collective opinion of the members of parliament to represent 1 billion citizens. The ministers will receive this declaration soon enough, and by the time we get to the ministerial meeting in December, I hope that all your deliberations will be taken into consideration. I'm very proud of this work that we've done here, Madam President. I think we are in troubled times, and sometimes the word seriousness, the word leadership are becoming overrated in general international politics. But I've seen here in these last 5 days, you've showed a lot of commitment, a lot of seriousness, a lot of hard work, and for this I'm proud and I really thank you very much. I'd like to thank again Portugal for the great hospitality. This was a success. I mean, it's been said by everybody, but now I think as Secretary General I have to really thank you for the bottom of my heart. We have done a fantastic work here. Your team has delivered also in the social moments, so thank you very much for what you have done, and maybe an applause to Portugal. In this very room, in 2002, there was a ministerial meeting right here. And that was the last time that the OSCE had a ministerial declaration, because the OSCE votes by consensus. Since 2002, in the OSCE, there's never been a ministerial declaration. This shows how the OSCE is challenged. But here, today, we have the Porto Declaration. We have language on Ukraine, on different issues. We, in the OSCE Parliamentary Assembly, can deliver, can speak up. And our wish is that also the governmental side of the organization, which is ruled by the consensus rule, can deliver as well. This year, we saw a nice movie, the 50th anniversary of the Helsinki Final Act, and I think a lot has been debated on the nature of this organization. And I think I have to add my word. Maybe there will be unpopular words, but I think rather than follow the trend, I need to, as Secretary General, to just give a sense of what type of organization we are. This is an organization which is not an organization of like-minded. We are not NATO. We are not allied. This organization was created between enemies, between countries who had issues in 1975. I really encourage you to see the movie that the Finnish chairmanship has prepared for the anniversary of Helsinki. So we are dealing with countries who have disagreements, with countries violated for the entire decalogue of the Helsinki Final Act. Yet, in this organization, we do not have tools. We do not have them technically, the tools to expel, the tool to not engage, engaging with countries who are at breach with the commitments. And I'm not talking about the one country that we are all thinking of. I'm thinking about also other countries that are in breach of the commitments of the OSCE. There are many. If we were only to engage in the countries whose track record in meeting the commitments of the OSCE is impeccable, we would have. In Italy, there is a song that's Eravamo quattro amici al bar, 4 friends at the bar. We would be there. We would have like 4 or 5 countries that meet. If we only have to say only the virtuous country, only those who have absolutely a perfect track record can participate, can meet. I've heard words like when the teachers see that the pupils don't behave, the teachers have to speak up. There are no teachers and pupils here. There are no virtuous and unvirtuous. There are countries, participating states, all equal, some with huge, dramatic, I would say outrageous breach of the decalogue of the Helsinki Final Act, and they need to be reprimanded, and there are others who do better. But the tools that we have in the OSCE are that we speak up, we engage. This is our mandate, to engage. If somebody is doing something wrong, we have to go and say, hey, you're doing something wrong. You have to correct that. This is our task, is our mandate. And dialogue. I know this is not a very popular word, and the timing of this dialogue has to be, of course, discussed. But this is entrenched in our constitution. If we don't do this, then you don't need this platform. Then it's okay. We just we can have a different type of club, but they already exist at other type of club. And this other type of club have better capabilities than we have. If the concept here is one understands only force, then the alternative is use force. If you say, no, we cannot use force because of what we know, then don't ask another body, which was created exactly to fix these problems, to use force because it doesn't have force. So we don't have the tools that, so those who have force kind of don't use it. And then they say to those who are created to have something different, a different type of arrangement, say, no, you use force. But I mean, it's kind of unfair and also ineffective because we will not have the capabilities to deliver on what I would personally think we need to deliver, but it's not here. Here we don't have these capabilities. So let's keep and preserve the spirit of the OSCE as it is. And definitely there are no teachers and pupils in this organization. I'd like to thank the Secretary General who was here yesterday in the ODIHR. He also talked about the budget. Here the budget has been approved. I really appreciate Johan Buser, the Treasurer, and the Standing Committee for passing the budget. The OSCE, it's been, the Secretary General informed us it's not only 4 years that they don't have a budget. They don't have a budget for the last 12 years. So it's very difficult for the governmental side to operate. And here we're talking about figures which are really, I see my Turkish friend, bakshish. I mean, the OSCE is, the budget is 132 million euro. I mean, last week in The Hague, we've heard about the 5% increase in spending for hard security. So we have a lot of money to invest in hard security, but in an arrangement which talks about diplomacy and maybe avoids the confrontation, we are very reluctant to pass a budget of 130 million, which is the governmental side, not to mention the OSCE, which is 4 million, which is really a minimum. But in the OSCE Parliamentary Assembly, thank God, you have approved the budget, and for this we are really appreciated. I really am impressed by the work that members of parliament do. I mean, I have seen the activities that you've done since February in Vienna. You are engaged, you participate in all sorts of meetings in all areas of the OSCE. I feel it as a responsibility as Secretary General to really take this energy, this enthusiasm that you have, this willingness to participate, and make sure that as OSCE International Secretariat, we offer you the tools to be able to do your work. You can dedicate to the OSCE business maybe a couple of days a month, but in those days when you engage in international politics, I think the Secretariat should help you be able to feel that what you're doing has a meaning, has a contribution, has a realistic meaning. I mean, of course, we don't think that we have to be ambitious, but we have to be also realistic in where we can deliver. And I feel it as my personal and my team's responsibility to help you create an assembly that gives you the possibility to actually do work that is meaningful and effective. One word on the International Secretariat staff, as this is my responsibility as Secretary General. I am very proud of the work that we do. Gustavo, who is now, again, doing work for us, is together with Andreas leading our staff in Copenhagen. And I must say that my colleagues are working with a lot of passion, a lot of dedication, huge professionality, and they have really this capacity to relate with parliamentarians, you know, in a very, let's say, customer service approach, but also very friendly. And this is, you know, for international civil servants, let's say the OSCE international civil servant is a very special person because it can be a very good friend, but also an extremely professional civil servant. So of this, I want to thank all my colleagues who are here. I am about to conclude because I know that the most interesting part comes after me, so I will now finish, but I have to finish on one note which is very important. Pia, Madam President, you're about to leave the chair of this organization, but I must say that as this is the 50th anniversary of the Helsinki Final Act, you have really embodied the spirit of Helsinki in this assembly. You have had the political vision. You have launched a reform agenda in order to make us more effective. You've had extremely political courage, I must say, on some of these initiatives that you've made, has been criticized, visiting some countries, not visiting some countries, meeting some officials, not meeting. You have paid a political price in Finland. You were aware of what these initiatives may entail for you politically, but yet you had the courage to say, this is my obligation as president of this assembly, and regardless of what is the price I will pay back at home, I will do it because this is my duty as president of this assembly. And for this, I have a huge respect and a huge appreciation for your political courage in doing so. I also appreciate the way you have treated the staff, the way you have interacted with the staff of the international organization. And I'd say you leave the organization now to the new president, which we'll soon find out, administratively and financially very stable, and politically very much central. So for this, I thank you very much, Pia. I also would like to thank you, but also the members, for what I often say is the climate that we have to create, a little bit of a, many say, family climate. I've seen never an assembly like this with accompanying people, with friends, participating in social events. I do feel that there is a network between the parliamentarians, which I think in the founding fathers thought we have to create an assembly where we also create personal relations between members. And I can see this family spirit also transcending throughout the halls and throughout the meetings that we have. So of this, Pia, as you've been spearheading this in the last 2 years, I would like to also thank you personally. And now, Roberto is finished. You come here. We have a little surprise for you. So, I'll use the mic. We've made for you a little certificate, which but most importantly, a booklet, as you can see, is very thick. It's all your activities since 2011 when you joined the Parliamentary Assembly in your different roles as Vice President, as Chair of Committee, as Member of the Bureau, as President, all the time you've been quoted in the news from Copenhagen, press releases, your report, and obviously all the photos. Wow. Thank you very much.